Confessio Belgica, Episode 1. This is the text from which I have taken the Belgic Confession. Syllige Confessionem sub tempus reformandae ecclesiae editarum videlicet, so a collection of the confessions, confessionem, published editarum during the time sub tempus of the Reformation of the Church, reformandae ecclesiae, namely, videlicet, the profession of the Tridentine faith, or the Tridentine Confession, the Helvetic Confession, the Confession of Augsburg, the Augsburg Confession, the first one made in 1531, the second one made in 1540, the Saxonic Confession, the Confession of Saxony, and the Belgic Confession, to which are joined sub igiuntur, the Heidelberg Catechism, and the canons of the Synod of Dort. Editio altera et auctior, a second and enlarged edition, published at Oxford, 1827. Confessio Belgica, vere Christiana, divinae doctrinae et salutis animarum doctrinam continens. Articulus primus. Corde credimus et ordre confiteamur unicam esse et simplicem essentiam spiritualem, quam Deum vocamus, aeternum incomprehensibilem, inconspicuum, immutabilem, infinitum, qui totus est sapiens, fons qua omnium bonorum uberimus. Here then is the title. The Belgic Confession, the truly Christian confession of divine doctrine and of the salvation of souls, containing the doctrine. So continens is feminine, singular, and nominative, a participle which modifies confessio. Another adjective modifying confessio is Belgica, and continens has an object. That object is doctrinam. So the truly Christian Belgic Confession, which contains the teaching. It contains teaching of these two kinds, divinae doctrinae, of the divine instruction, and of the salvation salutis of souls, animarum. These four words are all genitive. Divinae is modifying doctrinae, which is a genitive singular, and salutis is a genitive singular with animarum as an objective genitive in the feminine and plural. Then we receive the first article, articulus primus. With the heart, corde, we believe, and with the mouth, ore, we confess. Corde and ore are both neuter, singular, and ablative. They are ablatives of means. With the heart we believe, and with the mouth we confess. This confiteamur is deponent second conjugation verb confiteor, confiteri, and it introduces an indirect discourse, oratio obliquam. That is why we have these many accusatives, and also why we have the infinitive esse. So we believe and confess that there is esse unicam et simplicem, a single and simple, which means without parts, essence, one that is spiritual. Essentiam then is our noun that is modified by three adjectives, unicam, simplicem, and spiritualem. One and simple, that is without parts, spiritual essence, which, namely that essence, we call God, Deum vocamus. He is eternal, incomprehensible, not able to be completely grasped, inconspicuum, clearly here to translate this as inconspicuous by the English derivative would be quite out of place. It means not able to be seen, from the verb conspicio, to look at or to see. So invisible is a much better translation of inconspicuum. He is also immutabilem, unchangeable, infinitum, without limit, infinite. Now it's important to notice here that while these adjectives, unicam, simplicem, and spiritualem, are feminine because they are the predicates, or they are the modifiers of essentiam, the following adjectives, aeternum, incomprehensibilem, and inconspicuum, immutabilem, and infinitum, are all masculine because they are modifying Deum, whom, or which, I mean to say, the essence which we call God. a God who is each one of these adjectives. It's also important to note that these adjectives are part of the via negativa method of theological definition, namely saying what God is by denying what he is not. He is not bound to time, aeternum. He is not comprehensible. He is not visible. He is not changeable. He is not finite. And now to say what he is, who is the entire or the whole, all completely wise, sapiens, and he is the fons, the fountain, masculine, singular, and nominative, of all good things, omnium bonorum, and this is in the neuter, plural, and genitive. We have also this adjective, uberimus, which is modifying fons. This is the superlative of the adjective uber, which means rich, abundant, fertile, etc. So we might take uberimus as the most overflowing in order to capture the concept of fons, the most overflowing source or fountain of all good things. Then the author, of course, Guido de Bray, or Guy de Bray, cites a number of proof texts for this article, Ephesians, Deuteronomy, 1 Timothy, etc.